NTV.
It is Tuesday night and we've got everything you need to know. Thanks for joining us on NTV Tonight. These are our top stories.
Tonight, Nairobi County is officially under the national government. Sonko hands over key functions before President at State House.
Plus, most expensive grass and other tales. Extravagant and costly to the taxpayer. Details of the SGR contract that has Kenyans gasping for air.
And it's BBI or the highway in Meru.
You think BBI is a waste of time? Please stay at home, keep away.
Two groups hold night meetings ahead of rally.
Ile ni rally ya ODM ni disco ya reggae, kwa hivyo wakienda disco ya reggae sisi hatuko kwa disco ya reggae.
Also tonight, whistleblowers notwithstanding, patients on their own. KMPDC clears Nairobi Women's Hospital of any wrongdoing over billing scam.
Live from the Nation Centre, this is NTV Tonight with Smriti Vidyarthi and Mark Masai.
We're sure glad you've joined us on NTV Tonight. Our sign language interpreter is Flora Atieno. And our top story is from right here, the heart of the country, the capital. The national government has officially taken over the functions of the Nairobi County government effective today.
Well, this is according to communication from State House that says an agreement between the embattled Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko and Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa had been reached in concurrence with President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The national government will now control several dockets in the county, among them health, planning and development. Zainab Ismail with the latest development.
Rais Uhuru ako Togo. Deputy President William Ruto ako France. I am number 3 in command, politically, influence and socially. I am now the acting president of the Republic of Kenya.
The chicken may have finally come home to roost for the embattled Nairobi governor. In a statement sent to newsrooms from State House late Tuesday, Mike Mbuvi Sonko appended his signature on a document that effectively handed over key functions of the county to the national government. The event was witnessed by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka. The Attorney General Paul Kihara was also present. This means the national government now takes over the health, transport, public works, utilities and ancillary services, as well as planning and development functions from the county government. The agreement was done in accordance to Article 187 of the Constitution, which states that a function or power of government at one level may be transferred to a government at the other level by agreement between the governments if 1. The function or power would be more effectively performed or exercised by the receiving government, and 2. If the transfer of the function or power is not prohibited by the legislation under which it is to be performed or exercised. This means that the governor remains in position, but only in a limited capacity running the county affairs. The county government was thrown into a leadership crisis after courts prohibited Governor Sonko from office due to corruption charges. The move also comes against a backdrop of an impeachment motion against the governor that was tabled last week by Makongeni MCA Peter Imotok. Sonko's tenure as governor has seen the resignation of his deputy governor Polycarp Igathe. That position is yet to be filled. Sonko has also reconstituted and reshuffled his cabinet in a number of occasions. For now, the fate of the Nairobi governor hangs in the balance as he fights to clear his name over the graft charges. The national government on its part promising better service delivery to Nairobi residents. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
What a development.
And many, of course, with their interpretation of what this really means for the running of the capital city. It is seemingly something that has been long in coming. Indeed, with the formation of the team that was to run, or at least assist in running things within the capital.
Yeah, Sonko has, of course, had his fair share of challenges, but it really will be interesting to see, Mark, what changes we might see in the running of the county and in the delivery of services. That, of course, has been a big problem that Nairobi residents have been facing in the last few months. So that is something that we, of course, will be keeping an eye on. But
yes,
social
definitely run, of course, with this in terms of following through with this story and getting to know whether indeed the means have been followed well in terms of getting to this end. But some say the end justifies the means.
That's right. The hashtag Sonko surrenders. Do send us a tweet and we will sample some of your views later on. Give us a sense of what you think about this situation and really what difference you think it may make. All right, to another big story. The government remains mum in the wake of revelations that Kenyans were shortchanged during negotiations for the construction of the standard gauge railway.
Details seen by NTV show the exaggerated cost for goods and services procured by the parties that signed the initial agreement in 2012.
Well, Leila Mohammed with the identities of 7 Kenyans who committed the nation to one of the largest debts yet.
Negotiations for the construction of the standard gauge railway, which the Daily Nation described as the pillars of greed, were conducted between 27th of June 2012 and the 30th of August of the same year. The Kenyan delegation was chaired by Solomon Ouna, a consultant for Kenya Railways and also the project manager in charge of the SGR development. He passed on in 2018. Alfred Madheka was by then the finance manager at the Kenya Railways. He left the corporation in 2018, but not before being demoted by former Kenya Railways MD Atanas Maina over claims of poor performance in the SGR project. Lucy Njorogia, procurement manager at the Kenya Railways, was also one of the signatories. She too, like Madheka, left the corporation in early 2018 over poor performance claims. Mary Kitani, a one-time officer in the office of the Deputy President, was also a signatory to the deal. Kitani, who was once viewed as a powerful figure in government, has been the subject of a controversial and bitter contest in court with her estranged spouse. Stanley Gitari, the legal officer at the Kenya Railways by then, was also felled by the MD Atanas Maina in March 2018. He too was axed over poor management of the SGR project, which is now one of the biggest burdens to the taxpayer. David Mondali was the rail maintenance manager who also took part in the negotiations and signed the deal between Kenya Railways Corporation and CRBC of China.
My friends, we are ahead of our payment schedule. Ahead.
The Chinese delegation was represented by the general manager for the China Road and Bridges Company CRBC Kenya office, Li Klang, who led a 9-man team, 4 of whom traveled from their marketing department at the CRBC headquarters in China. The devil was in the detail. The contract quotes outrageously high figures for even simple tasks like landscaping. The document shows that grass planted along the railway stations was procured at a cost of 1 billion shillings. Those who signed on behalf of Kenya government agreed to the purchase of 112 portable radios at approximately 1.4 million shillings and 45 buses to shuttle workers at 25 million shillings each. The ideal market price would be about 10 million shillings a bus. 12 minibuses were bought at 12 million shillings each. Welding machines that actually cost 25,000 shillings in the market were bought at 442,872 shillings. The chief engineers enjoyed 5 million shillings worth of airtime for 3 months, with the government of Kenya spending top dollar on expensive furniture worth 11,500,000 for each one of them. Loudspeakers were bought at 28,800 shillings. Laserjet printers that should cost 40,000 were purchased at over 500,000 shillings as well. The draft agreement with the inflated figures was tabled and discussed. It was noted that the legal sections had been examined by the KR legal team and subsequently forwarded to the permanent secretary then in the Ministry of Transport, requesting him to seek legal opinion of the Attorney General before moving forward with the project that saw the trains begin ferrying goods and passengers on 1st of June of 2017. In the contract, the movement of the money would be in US dollars and directly from the Exim Bank of China to CRBC accounts. Details of the contract were promised to the nation by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
You want a copy of the contract? My friend, I'll get it to you tomorrow.
So they are commercial interests protected by Chinese rule of law. So I cannot say we agree or disagree disclosure these kind of agreements.
In the contract, a confidentiality clause states that publicity of any kind by any means by one party, hereto any third party, not involved in the present contract, requires the prior written approval of the other party. Thus, the President's promise might have never seen the light of day, considering that each party was expected to maintain a commercial confidentiality of any information or data. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
As you shake your head amid the revelations that Kenya may have been conned during negotiations for the SGR, there's more. The company that manages its operations was coincidentally celebrating what it terms as an incident-free period of 1,000 days.
But perhaps out of embarrassment, senior government officials skipped the event, even though they had confirmed attendance. Here now is Alex Mwangi with the details.
It was meant to be a celebratory event for the 1,000 days that Afrista Railway Operation Company, a subsidiary of the China Road and Bridge Corporation which manages the SGR, has had without a fatality in its operations.
Our 10 safety champions are...
From the choreography involved in awarding the outstanding employees to the smartly dressed employees who help keep the standard gauge railway trains in operation, it was an all-out show intended to evoke pride among Kenyans.
That the Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia and the Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga have both skipped this event, organized by the Afrista Railway Operation Company, points to the existing crisis in confidence that the standard gauge railway project faces in convincing Kenyans that it is a project with value for money.
There was no speech read on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary, an odd outcome for an event in which the CSA's attendance had been confirmed. The speech for the Managing Director of Kenya Railways Corporation was delegated to Asava Kadima, the Human Resource Manager at KRC.
With the support of the national government, rehabilitation of Nairobi-Nanyuki line has commenced. The line will be relied upon to transport mainly fuel and petroleum products along other items with the agriculture-rich region. We are also set to commence operations of the refitted MV Uhuru ship on Lake Victoria. This will be used to facilitate a cross-border trade between Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
The situation of the missing CS and MD seems to have been informed by the damning expose by the Daily Nation on the ripoff that is the SGR. From the inflated costs in the purchase of equipment to be used at the various SGR stations to the hefty allowances for some of the CRBC's engineers, it painted a clear picture of the one-ton grid that has plagued the financing of the SGR project. It's a project that has already gobbled up more than 500 billion shillings, but whose monthly income has financial experts pointing out that the revenue it is generating is insufficient to adequately cater for loan repayments that are due this year onwards. The SGR currently gets to Suswa, and with Uganda yet to give an assurance that it will construct a line to link up Malaba with Rwanda, signs are that Kenya may be left high and dry financially over the long term from investing in the much-hyped project. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
And NTV will stay on track on this particular story. Won't be the last you'll be hearing of it. To another development of the day.
Justice Sankale Ole Kantai's police bond has been extended to the 3rd of March 2020.
The judge presented himself to investigators as ordered following his release from custody last Saturday.
Mel Miendo brings us the latest on the appellate court judge's matter that is likely to present the judiciary with a dilemma should the DCI decide to prefer charges.
Tuesday morning, Justice Sankale Ole Kantai was back at the DCI headquarters with his lawyers. This time he was not grilled by homicide detectives. Instead, his lawyers managed to secure an extension of the bond timeline by 1 week. Detectives are yet to charge Sankale, but he will likely face murder charges as a person of interest in the Tob Cohen murder case. He is alleged to have coached main murder suspect Sarah Wairimo on her witness statement. The suspect had reached out for advice in case she was caught by police following her husband's death. Sankale was in Kisumu attending a workshop where he was joined by the main suspect in the Cohen murder case. Investigations revealed that Justice Sankale paid for Sarah Wairimo's ticket to Kisumu using M-Pesa, and the two exchanged intimate messages. In one instance, the judge wrote, "Good morning, driver left 5 minutes ago, he is coming for you," while Sarah replied saying, "Okay, love." Later, she wrote back saying, "Hi, hon, I have checked in and now the long wait to boarding." The judge then replied, "See you soon," and attached a kiss and love heart emojis. When Sarah Wairimo flew back to Nairobi, she scanned copies of the media coverage of Cohen's murder and sent them to the judge before she went to record her statement with the police the next day. Sources say that she asked for a soft copy of her statement, which she immediately sent to the judge, saying, and I quote, "This is what the police have recorded. Peruse, add and or remove what is necessary and return." End of quote. The judge received the copy and then sent a copy to the suspect, who took the copy back to the police station. Justice Sankale was arrested at his current home on Friday 21st February and grilled by detectives at the DCI headquarters for 24 hours. He spent Friday night in police custody. Mel Miendo, NTV.
All right, elsewhere, Narok County Senator Ledama Ole Kina has been released a few hours after he was arrested over remarks he made on Saturday that were deemed to be inciting.
Ledama claims his arrest is a witch hunt. He will appear in court next Tuesday. Sharon Baranga has more details.
Narok Senator Ledama Ole Kina was arrested early Tuesday. The senator was arrested by officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations who are working together with officials from the National Cohesion and Integrated Commission. His arrest is linked to utterances he made on Saturday that were deemed to be divisive among communities living and working in Narok. 5 hours later, Ledama was released, and together with other leaders, they claim his arrest was politically instigated.
We are people who have maintained peace for over centuries, but also we've been terrorized, traumatized, extremist measures, and that has got to come to an end.
And just like Narok County Senator Ledama Ole Kina, leaders from the Maasai community believe their own people are being oppressed on their own land, and they vowed to continue fighting for their rights.
But this today were kicks of a dying horse. You know, we will not let that to intimidate us.
The inciting speech is claimed to have been made on Saturday during the Building Bridges Initiative rally in Narok.
Nobody can stop reggae,
ODM party leader Raila Odinga on Monday defended the remarks, explaining that it was part of the BBI process of promoting democracy and the freedom of expression. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Keep off the Building Bridges Initiative rally in Meru this Saturday if you're opposed to the initiative. Definitely not my words.
The stern warning from host Governor Kiraitu Murungi moments after meeting ODM leader Raila Odinga in Nairobi, escalating the rift in the Mount Kenya region over the BBI.
A different faction in the region, allied to Deputy President William Ruto, and which has been opposed to the manner in which the rallies are being conducted, has vowed to maintain its stand on giving parallel proposals directly to the task force. Seth Olale reports.
Battle lines have been drawn ahead of Saturday's BBI rally in Meru. With just 3 days to the rally, two factions held separate night meetings in the capital to discuss the agenda. One group, consisting mainly of governors from the Mount Kenya region, is led by Nyandarua County boss Francis Kimemia and spearheaded by Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia.
As we do this BBI, Chairman, we really have to make sure that we have that issue of sustainable development. And for that, we are not going to have any apologies to anybody, because our people are hardworking.
After the rallies, then we shall be able to sit as a community and argue our case with our numbers, with our resources. I can assure you, hatuwezi kuwa ati sisi kazi yetu ni kupikia wengine. Lazima hata sisi tushikane na wengine tuendelee mbele.
Our meeting is different, my friend. The other team comprises mostly members of parliament drawn from the region, led by Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria and his Kikuyu counterpart Kimani Ichung'wah, both DP Ruto allies.
Tunataka kwenda mashinani kuuliza wananchi, je, hii maneno tunaongea roho yao iko hapo ama haiko?
Ile ni rally ya ODM, kwa hivyo si
disco ya reggae.
Na umesikia ni disco ya reggae, kwa hivyo wakienda disco ya reggae sisi hatuko kwa disco ya reggae.
The host governor Kiraitu Murungi, together with other members from the region's economic bloc that included Muthomi Njuki and Waiguru and Ndiritu Murithi, held a planning meeting with ODM leader Raila Odinga at his Capitol Hill offices. The Meru governor told BBI critics to keep off Saturday's rally, accusing them of having bad intentions.
We don't want people to bring in their side shows to our meeting. We have warned those who are saying BBI is a waste of time. So if it's a waste of time, don't come to waste time in Ikenoru.
The pro-BBI group will also have delegates conferences in Chuka, Nyeri and Meru Town as curtain raiser for Saturday's rally. President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga are the chief guests. Meru County is set to host the 7th edition of the BBI Consultative Forum, the first ever to be held in the Mount Kenya region, that will also bring together a total of 10 counties on Saturday at the Kinoru Stadium. Seth Olale, NTV, Capitol Hill, Nairobi County.
Right, to a follow-up story now, and the Nairobi Women's Hospital is clear of any wrongdoing regarding the overbilling of patients. Now, strange as it may sound, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council has cleared the hospital of fraud claims.
Through a statement to the hospital's founder and director, Dr. Sam Dhenya, the council says there was no evidence of overcharging at the facility.
WhatsApp messages shared online and whistleblower statements described a systemic scam. According to the reports, Nairobi Women's Hospital overbilled the patients by prescribing and administering unnecessary procedures, admitting patients who were in stable conditions and delaying discharging of patients. The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council has absolved the Nairobi Women's Hospital from these allegations. The council, after its investigations, has established that there was no evidence of overcharging at the facility and that the hospital's fees are in line with the industry benchmarks. But the council established that there was failure by the hospital's senior management to manage and correct the nature of communication and language used in their WhatsApp group for business communication. The council also says there was evidence of instances when decisions made by medical officers to discharge patients were overruled by clinical officers and nurses who were part of the management team at the hospital. The council further recommended the re-evaluation of management at the facility to boost communication and language used within the hospital, and wants the hospital to enhance the incorporation of doctors in the senior leadership team to offer medical guidance. The hospital has vowed to comply with the council's recommendations. The allegation against the hospital saw CEO Felix Wanjala step aside to allow investigations after private health insurers suspended their services with the hospital. Vincent Odur, NTV.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly Majority Leader, Eden Duale, has urged the Building Bridges Initiative Steering Committee to take charge of the process, saying their function has partly been hijacked by politicians.
While appearing before the committee, the pastoralist parliamentary group led by Duale has proposed the introduction of a pure parliamentary system of governance or an expanded presidential system.
The group also wants the principle of one man, one vote to be harmonized with the principle of 1 kilometer, one vote. They also want the allocation of public resources to be pegged on landmass instead of the population.
We oppose exclusive use of one man, one vote principle and propose that it must be concurrently and harmonized with the 1 kilometer, one vote. That the existing 290 constituencies be protected and protected seats for minorities should be preserved. No ward, constituency or counties should be merged in any boundary review. As the BBI report notes, boundaries have become a major focus of new conflict dynamics, and more so in the pastoral areas.
And you will hear more from Duale. He joins Ken Mijungu on Sidebar tonight, right after this broadcast. Listen in.
What we did not achieve in the 2010 constitution, we now must achieve in this BBI process.
BBI ni muungano wa matapeli.
Kama hiyo rege ni hii ya kupiganisha Wakenya na kulete ukabila, I promise you,
ongeza sauti,
hiyo rege itasimama.
Nilikutana na majority leader, amesema William Ruto hako na shida kubwa sana. Ofisi yake bilioni 40 imepotea kwa ofisi yake, bado natafuta njia ya kusaidia yeye. Anasema akimaliza hiyo shida ndio atakuja kuongea na nyinyi juu ya BBI.
Duale will be in studio live with Ken Mijungu right after this broadcast. We take our first break here. Coming up,
well, we tell you of the desperation of parents of Kenyan students stuck in Wuhan, China, and why they want their children returned home. Details after the break.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Birthday party.
Birthday party.
Birthday party. Birthday party.
Are we not invited? We have gifts.
Malaria. Mommy, best.
Rat.
Oh, die.
Party!
Compared to Laundry Spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Female genital mutilation is one of the worst forms of gender-based violence that is meted on girls and women worldwide. According to UNICEF, more than 200 million girls and women alive today have been cut worldwide, and 9.3 million have undergone the cut in Kenya. Another 3 million girls are at risk of undergoing the cut every year. Therefore, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta has committed to end FGM in Kenya by the year 2022. Ending FGM is the responsibility of every Kenyan. Kukomesha ukeketaji ni jukumu langu, jukumu lako na jukumu letu. Pamoja tukomeshe ukeketaji kufikia mwaka wa 2022. This message is brought to you by the Anti-FGM Board in collaboration with UNICEF Kenya.
Nikitandika mtu vizuri nimuumize, utani blame? Cool downs. Nani ukasirisha hivyo cause you're boiling? Kwa viatu zako zote, hiyo tu ndio unaonaka uvae.
Tulikuwa umeniambia ni make sure mzee ametoka ndo nikuje.
Mzee alitoka kitambo. You know, I've been sitting here trying to comprehend what you're saying. Like you're running your mill, it's just raining.
Nani amechukua maji yangu? Kero, nani amechukua maji yangu?
Fanyaga hivi. Baki kwa hao, upakilizo makucha rangi. Alafu zieke IG. Poa.
Get this beautiful property for only 150,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 175,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Join us for our site visit on 29 February 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for more information.
Welcome back. Now, the parents of students who are stuck in Wuhan, China, are once again pleading with the government to reconsider their plight and bring their children back home from the coronavirus epicenter.
The Health Cabinet Secretary still maintains that the children are better off in China than Kenya, and that despite the outbreak spreading globally, Kenya is now fully equipped to test for the virus and handle any breakout should it hit.
Anita Nkonge has more details.
With children still stranded in Wuhan City, China, the hub for the deadly coronavirus, parents and guardians camped outside the Ministry of Interior with just one message.
We want the government of Kenya to do the right thing and bring our children back.
According to the parents, their children are still being kept under lock and key and have had to do with just one meal a day courtesy of the Chinese government. The parents have been pushing for the evacuation of their children from China, but equally adamant has been the government in resisting any move back home, at least for now.
We are safer leaving our students out in that place. They are well provided for. They are in touch with the embassy on a daily basis.
The CS announced, however, that the country is well prepared for the virus should it get here.
Every port of entry today is manned, and we are taking screening measures. Now we have built our own local capacity to be able, for any suspected case, to be able to run the test so that we either isolate or keep you within isolation.
Some travelers who have crossed borders recently have expressed concerns that there may be loopholes when it comes to point of entry searches. So far, every case in the country has been cleared as negative. The CS, however, insists that citizens must be proactive in protecting themselves.
Don't sneeze or cough into somebody's face. So keep off if you have any such symptoms.
The novel coronavirus has infected more than 80,000 people worldwide and killed more than 2,700. There are at least 2,400 confirmed cases of coronavirus in more than 35 countries and territories outside mainland China, including 37 deaths. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
The Committee on Education is concerned over the failure of Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha and Inspector General of Police to appear before them as directed by the Speaker of National Assembly last week.
Now, the two and the Chief Executive Officer of the Teachers Service Commission were expected to appear before the committee to explain why over 3,000 non-local teachers were transferred from the northeastern region.
Magoha and Mutiambai, had sent their representatives who were rejected by the committee. The meeting has been moved to tomorrow.
This meeting is not properly constituted, in the sense that we have no Inspector General of Police, we have his representative, which is actually against the ruling of the Speaker. Two, we also don't have the CS, who is the nominal head of the ministry. I will say that the Teachers Service Commission alone will not actually handle this matter because it is an intersectorial problem.
Still in the courts, 4 Chinese nationals accused of assaulting their employee and ordered for deportation will know their fate tomorrow.
This after Justice Luka Kimaru directed that they remain in police custody before appearing before the court for direction.
The four were arrested on the 9th of February after a viral video showed one of them assaulting an employee at a workplace.
Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects were working without work permits and their visas had expired.
They allegedly came into the country on tourist visas but were operating a restaurant in Nairobi's Kileleshwa area.
Elsewhere, a suspect accused of murdering a German tourist at a Malindi hotel has today pleaded not guilty of the charges.
Mary Mwikali Kavu appeared before Malindi resident Judge Ruben Nyakundi and denied killing 75-year-old Herman Detring.
Justice Nyakundi was forced to read the charges twice to the accused because she admitted to having murdered the boyfriend in self-defense. The charges were then read in Swahili for her to understand, upon which she pleaded not guilty.
Well, the victim's badly mutilated body was found by workers at a hotel on the 28th of January, and the case will be heard on the 24th of March this year.
Farmers in Kitui are living in fear as a new swarm of locusts nymphs have hatched in their farms.
Well, this comes a month after the worst locust invasion which was witnessed in the county, leaving acres of land almost bare. Helen Aura with the details.
A month after a swarm of locusts descended on Kitui, the invasion is far from gone. Nymphs have hatched and will soon overrun the farms. Farmers are concerned that all their hard work has gone to waste.
Nimejaribu nikapika ingine na inakupa na ingine na saa kila siku. Na ikiamuka asubuhi inaongezeka ingine kama ile nimalisika.
Kwa kuliwa kila kitu kiangu ninatafuta. Nilee watoto wangu. Lakini hakuna.
Kitui County government has now launched a ground spraying exercise to eradicate the nymphs. During the launch of the exercise, Agriculture ECM Emmanuel Kisangu said at least 14,000 litres of pesticide would be required to ensure the nymphs are wiped out in 1.5 weeks' time. President Uhuru Kenyatta has assured farmers that the government is working to contain the situation.
It has been a serious problem. We have done everything that we can do. We strongly believe, though, that as a result of some of the mitigation that we have done, the damage to our harvest may not be as bad as it was predicted.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Time for business break. Coming up in that bulletin. Curtains fall on the SME conference and expo as the government spells out a raft of measures to boost the business environment.
Mark will be leading the business tonight.
To the out-of-framers, the turtleneckers, the fringe growers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel. Join the millions that have switched to Dettol Even Tone, now also in pomegranate fragrance, a healthier skin for an even better you. Brought to you by the Kenya Consortium of Medical and Health Professionals. Dettol, be 100% sure.
For one day only, get up to 50% off on the Dettol range with free shipping only on the Jumia Super Brand Day. Enjoy this great offer only on the 27th of February 2020.
Inakwambia bibi kuna mdenge fulani bibi yako na nywele refu yani. Kuna ngoko fulani bibi amemechali yake hadi Sio ndio madonna na kutupinya mtu mbao. Mimi nimemjenga dhao gari ilikuwa salaza akaniambia nimjenge 17 na but na that yangu.
The way this position is tiring. Nimechoka.
Who's that? Ni shosho fulani hapa hivi.
Ati shosho.
Call for long at 1 shilling 50 cents to all networks.
Cartelo!
Dial star 544 hash to subscribe. Telkom, moving with you.
It feels good, Coca-Cola and food, Monday to Sunday. We're all chasing taste. Let's just grab a bite, the excuse to drink Coca-Cola. Every single day. So we feel forever be real, together stay free, whatever ends. No, we can't stop. wanna taste the feeling. Nothing can ever bring us down. Taste the feeling.
Eldora Technical Training Institute (ETTI) prides itself as a student-centered institution committed to nurturing and growing careers. We offer technical training and market-driven courses at higher diploma, certificate and craftsmanship level in the following programs: engineering, building and construction, business administration and commerce, agriculture and animal health, tourism and hospitality management, education, social studies, information communication technology, accounting, banking and finance, medical and health sciences, journalism and mass communication. Enrollment for May and September intakes is ongoing. Apply now. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Time to talk business now. Curtains fell on the SME conference and expo earlier today, with the government revealing that it is on a mission to streamline the levying of cess across counties in a bid to cushion small businesses from high costs. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani also revealed that the state targets clearing all eligible pending bills by June 30th.
It was a platform which brought together small and medium-sized businesses and policy makers to explore ways of creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. The National Treasury now says plans are at an advanced stage to create a common framework for levying cess by counties.
If you have to move from Kisumu and you're taking vegetables to Mombasa, at the barrier of every county, there's a roadblock. You have to pay. Maybe from Kisumu to Mombasa, you are going to pay to encounter like 5, 6, or even up to 10 roadblocks. And each of them expect you to pay cess. We want to harmonize these so that maybe it's only done at the source. And then the express, the license that's given from the other end, will give you an opportunity now to proceed without being asked on anything.
In terms of tax collection, we are looking at two components. Number one, there is tax and there is non-tax. Now, you need to define what are these taxes. If it is non-tax, there's collection of fees, which is charged by, of course, the government. We have services which are rendered, especially in e-citizen. We have the passports, we have the police collecting fees, licenses, and there's so many.
We are not going to treat the SMEs like the large taxpayers, the medium taxpayers. So we have looked at the processes, we have looked at the systems. Do they really need to file returns? So we have come up with a mobile app, which actually is going to make it very, very easy for the SMEs to comply.
Stakeholders at the forum urged the government to ensure there is a trickle-down of economic dividends to the bottom of the pyramid if SMEs are to improve their performance.
People, wherever you go, they are saying, we are not feeling it. And I think we need to have a conversation of this nature to find out why is the average Mwananchi who is trying to run a small business, why is he not feeling there?
Other jurisdiction.
Ukur Yatani further says the quest to clear pending bills has taken a new dimension, which is designed to ensure this timely clearance of arrears by state agencies going forward.
We've gone beyond dealing with the ministry or dealing with the department or the county. We weaponized the fight against pending bills. And we have actually personalized. If it's the governor, we tell him this is not about the county, it's about you. If it's the various accounting officers in the ministry, we are no longer dealing with the ministry. We are dealing with that accounting officer who must have a responsibility.
We need this level of engagement or this type of engagement to also say, something has caved in. It took two to tango. It was you, my dear sister, and perhaps me on this side. So we need to look ourselves in the mirror jointly and be able to say, I think, turn the corner, because it's good for Kenya that we say, if you do not deserve a tender, or if you are caught influencing to get a tender, then you be dealt with. Then it will take again the two, you the tenderer, and we, the people who are actually the clients.
The government also indicated that in a bid to create demand for consumption of local produce, it is developing a framework of punitive measures to be taken against state agencies which flout the president's directive on sourcing locally.
We are already implementing. That's why we are buying uniforms locally. Nobody is importing uniform for the forces. The other element that is remaining that Trade Department will have to conclude is the enforcement mechanism.
Why Mlika Mwizi or a feature phone is not what we use for you to file taxes. I think at the moment it's primarily because of security. You cannot provide all the security that's needed for us to verify that it is you that is putting in the information. And as I think the aim for us is to see how we can bring the price of the smartphones actually lower, the price of data also reduce that, so that everybody actually has a smartphone that will give them all the information that they need to be able to provide services to others, as well as be able to receive information.
There's no one anywhere on earth who has enough knowledge to drive a country forward on their own. You need to work with other people. And I can tell you, Dr. Kiboro, as you can see, I said that this government is committed, totally and absolutely, to supporting the growth and development of the SME sector.
I'm also very happy that this is the first time I think the government is demonstrating the willingness to be held accountable by the people who they govern, because presenting yourselves here and presenting yourself for the open questions, I think this is a first in many, many ways. And it's a good thing that we have a conversation together. All of us want the country to move forward, as you do, and we are just part of that section.
SMEs had an opportunity to showcase their products and network during the two-day conference. Julian's Amboko, NTV.
The Kenya Revenue Authority can now collect 2 billion shillings worth of withholding tax on container demurrage charges from shipping lines. This follows a ruling by High Court Judge Francis Tuyot in favor of the taxman, in which he held that demurrage charge is an income tax and that the shipping lines' local agents have an obligation to withhold tax on this particular issue. And This shipping lines were, however, afforded a breather with a bench with regard to value-added tax and processing fees. Now, 7 shipping lines had filed a tax appeal protesting taxation of income on demurrage charges. And demurrage charges in layman terms would be the charge by the shipping lines to charterers on the delays of offloading or onloading cargo. A study on regulated and unregulated digital credit lenders has been commissioned with the goal of identifying potential violation with regard to consumer protection. The study has been commissioned by the Competition Authority of Kenya and will be carried by Financial Sector Deepening Kenya and Innovations for Poverty Action. Amongst the main objectives of the study are identifying the size and nature of the digital credit market, increase transparency regarding products, and increase consumer control of personal information. Concern is rife over the interest rate being charged by unregulated digital lenders. Consolidation amongst oil marketers is gaining momentum, with the Competition Authority of Kenya, CAK, approving the proposed merger between Gulf Energy Holdings and Kenol Kobil. Kenol Kobil, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Rubis Energy SAS, following the 2019 acquisition, intends to buy out the entire issued share capital of Gulf Energy. Kenol Kobil was delisted from the Nairobi Securities Exchange in August 2019. CAK projects that when the transaction is concluded, The merged entity will have 10.6% of the market share. The authority has approved the proposed transaction on condition that within the next 2 years, no employees from Gulf Energy will be declared redundant. The merged entity will also have to ensure that contracts between Gulf Energy and retail station dealers, as well as small and medium enterprises, are maintained. And that's it from the business desk, but coming up after the break, we have details about how Machakos County is drilling its way out of the water insecurity, one borehole at a time.
Selena! Toto, where's Mummy? Today's a toilet day. What? Oh.
Selena!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Happy 10X.
The Kisumu National Polytechnic invites the public for the second annual International Multidisciplinary Conference and Open Day on 27th to 28th February 2020 at the Kisumu National Polytechnic Hall. The theme is TVET's role in building sustainable blue economy. The aim of the conference is to occasion a stage for researchers, academicians, policymakers, professional bodies and students from all over the world to present their research results, network and build capacity in their various disciplines. For more details, visit our website or contact us on the numbers on your screen.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana, mashine ya kupima damu inaitwa full hemogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu.
Tuma ombi lako leo online safaricomfoundation.org/Ndoto Zetu au tafuta msafara wa Safaricom mkoa wako.
Ndoto Zetu, uwezo wetu.
Runner Auction Drive. Runner Auto Selection Limited, importers of selected motor vehicles, introduces 100 newly imported cars on auction. Visit our Kisumu, Eldoret and Nairobi branches and drive away with a brand new motor vehicle at the lowest prices. 27th February, Kisumu. 28th February, Eldoret. 29th February, Nairobi. We shall also be having auctions in Kisumu every Thursday starting from 20th February. For more inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0701 777 779. Runner Auto Selection. Your choice, your success.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, water is a scarce natural resource, but fundamental to human and animal life, livelihood systems, food security and sustainable development. Now, for communities living in areas that are considered to be arid and semi-arid, the scarcity of water bites harder as they are forced to trek long distances in search of the precious commodity. Well, Zainab Wandati now tells you how Machakos County is working to free itself from the cycle of water insecurity.
Maria Nzioka is a small-scale vegetable farmer in Mutitoni, Machakos County. We find her busy in her small plot, working. Her small plot is barely 20 feet away from a borehole. With water this close, her crops are never thirsty. But she says it hasn't always been this way.
Nilikuwa naenda hapa kwa mto. Si nimebaitika kwa sababu sitakuwa nikienda huko, nitakuwa nikichota hapa alafu nawekelea kwa shamba.
Maria is among the 2,000 residents of Mutitoni area of Machakos County that have benefited from the sinking of boreholes that are giving them easier access to water. Previously, they had to go several kilometers away in order to access water.
Kabla ya miradi ikuje ya maji tulikuwa na shida. Saa zingine tulikuwa tunanunua maji, lakini saa hizi hatununui maji. Unakuja unachota vile unataka.
Before this project came here, we had the natural springs. We have one here at Mutumas, but the water is a bit contaminated. Watu unaweza kunywa na unapata magonjwa. Na watu walikuwa na queue for a long time.
This borehole is one of more than 400 others that the county is drilling in order to ensure water security and facilitate access.
This bore is 150 meters deep and it has a yield of 10 cubic meters every hour. Means that every day we are going to pump 100,000 liters every day.
Hii maji itakuwa msaada kwa familia kama 1,000 na kuna mifugo ambayo ni kama tuseme 300.
For a long time, Machakos has struggled with water insufficiency, especially during droughts, trapping locals in a cycle of walking long distances in order to get water. The county says that since it started drilling boreholes and building water pans, water insecurity has reduced and drought resilience boosted.
What we promise the people of Machakos, that we are going to deliver water to all households, we are at around 70% reaching that target. Because when it comes to exploration of the underground water, we have done 450 boreholes. We are also doing water pans. And the majority of the water pans, they have a capacity of 30,000 cubic meters of water or 30 million liters of water.
The county is also building treatment plants in order to clean the water before piping it into homes. In Kionyweni, in Masii area, Boni Mutua tends to his livestock. He is among the more than 700 residents in this area who now have piped water in their homes, sparing them the 5-kilometer journey to River Thwake for water.
We are making strides and positive strides by making sure that we have many water sources.
Normally before we drill, we usually do what we call a geological survey, whereby we establish the amount of water we are likely to get and the type of the aquifers that are available. And we have established that there is sufficient water in this area.
Out of the 450 boreholes, even during the last drought, at least more than 70% of them were able to give our people water.
The county says it needs at least 2,000 boreholes in order to fully satisfy the needs of the people, which is work in progress. Maria says she's grateful that the proximity to water has increased her yields and now has more vegetable to sell. Zainab Wandati, NTV, Machakos County.
All right, from that feature, we shift focus now to the sports news with Sean Cardivalis coming up next. Stay with us.
Breastfeeding tips for new mothers. Anticipate your baby's desires. You can anticipate their needs by watching for a few telltale signs. Get comfortable while nursing. The constant squirming and moving on your part can disrupt your baby's breastfeeding.
Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Bye diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
So we feel forever be real. Together stay free, whatever ends. No, we can't stop. We wanna taste the feeling. Nothing can ever bring us down. Taste the feeling.
Molfix breathable surface developed with Airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Nikitanika mtu vizuri nimuumize utani blame. Cool downs. Kama ukasirisha hivyo cause you're boring.
Kwa viatu zako zote hiyo tu ndio unaonaka uvae.
Tulikuwa mniambia ni make sure mzee ametoka ndo nikuje.
Mzee alitoka kitambo.
You know I've been sitting here trying to comprehend what you're saying. Like you're running your mouth is just raining.
Nani amechukua maji yangu? Kero, nani amechukua maji yangu?
Fanyaga hivi. Baki kwa hao. Upakilizo makucha rangi. Alafu ziweke IG. Poa.
Get this beautiful property for only 150,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 175,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Join us for our site visit on 29 February 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for more information.
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Sean Carter-Villis with the latest sports news. Now, the Sports Dispute Tribunal will give a ruling on the 17th of March after hearing the case where Football Kenya Federation had sued the sports registrar over various issues regarding the forthcoming FKF elections. The registrar maintains the federation is yet to conform to the 2013 Sports Act and disagrees with the federation's plans of holding county elections without the branches being fully registered. The sports registrar, Rose Wasike, has been put to task over the delay in aiding sports organizations and particularly Football Kenya Federation to conform to the Sports Act.
I don't know what to say, but
during the hearing of a sports disputes tribunal case in which the FKF has sued the registrar over modalities of organizing the forthcoming elections, Wasike's lawyer Martin Munene was questioned by SDT chairman John Ohaga as to why the crisis took more than a year to solve.
It is a notice.
Earlier lawyer Charles Omer, representing football clubs Bondeni United and Chepterit in this petition, claimed that more than 300 clubs have been locked out of the elections on the promise that they are not FKF members.
Please level the playing field. Allow us to participate. Allow us to elect the people that we want, irrespective of who is in office electing them.
He also claimed the election requirements set by FKF detailing election aspirants to be active members in 3 of the last 4 years favoured only the incumbent.
Joe Masiga locked out. Goro Ronge, Tony Lidonde, I don't know. All of those football greats cannot contest even for sub-branch. And these clubs are saying that is an unreasonable justification.
FKF lawyer Victor Umbwebu told the tribunal that FIFA had given Kenya until the end of March to hold elections or else face unspecified sanctions.
Article 4.3 of the FIFA Standard Electoral Code applicable. My submission is, as far as this directive from FIFA is concerned, it is not applicable. The 6-month period is not a matter that affects this election that is upcoming. And what FIFA says is we should use our code that was passed on the 20th of January.
We came to this course once again to ask direction and say all clubs of Kenya that qualify to vote for 3 years, have been in the league, have participated in the pyramid, must be given their right and vote for their leaders.
And the Sports Dispute Tribunal will make a ruling of the case at 4 p.m. on the 17th of March, just before the FKF elections later that month. Now, Kenya's hopes of qualification to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics lies with 6 boxers left in the competition who now seek to advance from their different weight categories in the quarterfinals at the African Boxing Olympics qualifying, which is ongoing in Dakar, Senegal. African Games bronze medalist Eli Ajowi is a win away from the Olympic Games after outpunching another Congolese, Maroy Sadiki, in a split decision. Ajowi will now take on African Games silver medalist Younes Bala from Morocco in the semi-finals on Wednesday. Commonwealth Games bronze medalist Christine Ongare also qualified for the semi-finals after beating Congolese Zalia Munga. Ongare meets Rehab Cheddar from Morocco in the semi-finals on Wednesday, and Nikokoth will face Senegal's Gomez Pedro Manuel in the quarterfinals of the men's featherweight tonight, with Evelyn Akini Olo taking on Mariam Sidibe of Ivory Coast, and that's in the women's lightweight quarterfinals. Frederick Ramogi faces Morocco's Bourous Ahmed in the men's super heavyweight quarterfinals. Kenya's top seed Brian Mutua will carry positive lessons to the Africa Table Tennis Olympic qualifiers after losing 3-2 to South Africa's Theo Kogil in the 13th to 16th place classification match of the International Table Tennis Federation Africa's Top 16 Cup in Tunisia. Earlier, Mutua went down 3-0 to the Algerian Sami Kerouf in the 9th to 16th place playoff clash. The 21-year-old posted mixed results on his first day of competition, losing his first match 3-1 to Fani Doji of Togo, going down in sets of 11-8, 6-11, 7-11. Mutua would then compensate in his second game, though, returning to the table to stun veteran Shane Overbauer from South Africa 3-2 before losing to Egypt's top seed Salah Ahmed. The university student is using the tournament as a build-up for the Olympic qualifiers, which will be held from the 27th to the 29th of February in Tunisia. The rest of the Kenyan players, including Mutua, are expected to battle for slots to the Tokyo Games then. The 2020 Magical Kenya Open, which is set for the 12th to the 15th of March at the Karen Country Club, looks to receive increased prominence with several golf tournaments cancelled in Asia amid the coronavirus fears. The event, which joined the prestigious European Tour in 2019, will see the top 5 participating Kenyan pros receive 250,000 bob each from Absa Bank Kenya. Meanwhile, any Absa-sponsored Kenyan golfers who make it to the top 20 after the first 2 rounds will take home 500,000 shillings, while those who make it to the top 10 after the final round of the tournament will receive an additional token of 1 million each. The highest-ranking Kenyan in 2019 was Simon Gige, who finished in joint 25th place. The battle for the trip to Anfield, home of Liverpool FC, kicks off on the 14th of March when more than 40 teams converge at St Mary's Grounds for the 5-a-side Stanchart Trophy soccer tournament. The annual event will see the winners gain direct qualification to the international round in Liverpool, to be played at Liverpool's home ground Anfield, and that's in May 2020. At stake is a fully paid up trip to Anfield, the home of Premier League giants Liverpool. The winners will travel to the UK for a fully paid 4-day trip to represent Kenya at the Standard Chartered Trophy finals, which will be played at Anfield on the 10th of May. Last year, Leshego emerged the winners of the Road to Anfield tournament after beating Capital FM 3-2 in the post-match penalty shootouts, having drawn 1-1 during normal time.
Football is a very big social unifying sport, and on top of that, it not only brings people together, but it also creates a common ground for a lot of engagement. And in those markets, Liverpool is actually a big club. So a lot of common things have fitted between ourselves and the club. So it's always an honor to be able to do something around the club and the bank.
The late NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna were eulogized at the tearful memorial service held at the Staples Center, Los Angeles. His widow, Vanessa Bryant, spoke candidly to the crowd of about 20,000 people about her family's loss, as did the basketball legend Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, amongst several others. Earlier, Mrs. Bryant announced that she's suing the owner of the helicopter in which her husband, her daughter, and 7 other people were traveling in when it crashed in fog a month ago.
When the folks thought we were on bad terms, when the cameras were turned off, he and I would throw a wink at each other and say, let's go whoop some ass. He never took it seriously.
When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died, or else you wouldn't be here. Those are the memories that we have to live with and we learn from.
She was a beautiful, kind, happy, silly, thoughtful, and loving daughter and sister.
And that's the latest sports news. Back to you, Mark and Smitty.
NTV Sport, in association with MozartBet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you, Sean. And just before we go into sidebar, some feedback on the question that we had put across to you on the hashtag Sonko surrenders that we put across earlier. Janet Kihara says, to the question on what your expectations are now that the national government has taken over the county of Nairobi. And she says, clean and homely Nairobi, free of noise, congestion, traffic jam, pollution, where law and order is upheld, as well as toothless ganja head. You say, I pray they improve on roads issues, water supply, garbage collection, and mostly security. Kwaheri Sonko. And the Zeitgeist, Simeon, you say, an end to the insecurity in the CBD, unnecessary traffic snarl-ups, disbanding of the county askari, new recruitment and training initiative, roads being fixed.
Well, it's good to be hopeful, and we will have to wait and see how things pan out. All right, you have been watching NTV Tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Do stay tuned. No sidebar with Ken Majungu is coming up next. His guest is in place. That is Aiden Duale. It will be an interesting conversation, no doubt. Thanks for watching. I'm Smriti Vidyathi. Good night.
And I'm Mark Masai. Good night.
This is NTV.